Hello guys, I'm Eliza. I had the misfortune of being betrayed by none other than the people who were the closest to me. This is the story of my life and how I got some revenge against those two evil people. To start this off, let me give you the basics. There is me, my husband Ryan, my sister Sasha, and my nephew Quinn. My parents are deceased and I have been sort of acting like my sister's guardian because our parents died when she was a little young. It was a sad situation, but we stuck together and made it through. Things got a little tough for us when Sasha got pregnant. She had no idea who the father was, so we didn't have any way to establish paternity. According to her, it was a random guy at a restaurant where she had gone with some friends. She was underage and scared about having a baby. So I got myself together to make sure Sasha and the baby were taken care of. Eventually, Sasha moved out after I got married to my college sweetheart, Ryan. I was going to community college and juggling odd jobs to take care of Sasha and my nephew, Quinn. Sasha did work, but didn't make enough back then. She only moved out once I got married and she landed a better job. My nephew was 6 back then. Shortly after my sister moved out, she came crying to me one day. Ryan and I were concerned because she appeared to be pretty disheveled. I sat her down on our couch and asked her what was wrong. And that's when she said, I can't do this, Eliza. I can't handle all these expenses. What do you mean, Sasha? Tell me what happened. I thought I would be able to manage everything on my own, but I can't, Eliza. I lost my job and found a new one, but this one pays way less. I don't know how I will feed my child and keep a roof over our heads. Sasha was trying badly, and it broke my heart to see my sister in so much pain. She was crying on my couch, telling me and my husband how she could not afford to keep a roof over her head. I could feel her pain and had tears in my eyes myself. After I calmed her down, she said, I don't know what to do anymore. How will I go on? Oh, don't be so heartbroken, Sasha. I'm sure you'll figure out something. You always have your sister. Yes, that is true. How about I help you till you get a job? How will you help, Eliza? I can send you money every month. It will help you cover your rent and Quinn's necessities. Really? You would do that for me? Why not, Sasha? You are my baby sister. Of course I would do this for you. When we had that conversation, I had no idea what I was actually signing up for. What I did know at that time was that my sister needed me. So, just like my husband said, I started to help her out with money. We actually helped her quite more than that. Every month I was giving her money. Ryan and I had a good income, so it wasn't a big issue. Since I was making the contributions alone, I did have a hard time building my savings. But I did it for my sister and nephew. Quinn's happy face was enough incentive for me to give Sasha the money without any issues. A year passed and nothing changed. My sister continued to have a bad job and couldn't pay her rent along with other things. There were medical bills, electricity bills, Quinn's school supplies, and a lot more, so I was almost actually giving her half of my paycheck. She had a new excuse to ask for more money every month. Not once did I argue with her or refuse to give her money. I also invited her over to my house on multiple occasions where we would have a nice dinner and give Quinn a sense of having a big family. Guys, I really did the best I could. I did my duty as a good sister and aunt, but I never thought Sasha would take advantage of me and betray me so badly. Everything came crashing down one day out of the blue. That day, my husband had left for a business trip a few states away. Ryan seemed excited about the trip because he told me he was expecting a promotion soon. He said his goodbyes and left in a good mood. After my husband left, I started to get ready for work. However, I wasn't expecting Quinn to call me out of the blue. I picked up the call in a good mood and ready for some cute talk from my nephew. But what I heard on the other side absolutely crushed me. Quinn was crying and was almost hysterical. I tried hard to calm him down so that he could tell me what happened. He said, "Auntie Liza, it's Mommy." "What's the matter, Quinn? What happened to your mother?" "She left me, Auntie Liza. I'm alone. She's not in the house." That's all Quinn told me before he started to hysterically cry again. I stayed on the phone with him and quickly drove to my sister's place to figure out what was going on. I had one of her emergency keys and let myself in using that. Once I was inside, I called out to Quinn. He came running and hugged me for life. I calmed him down and said, "Where did your mother go, Quinn? Are you sure she's not in the house?" "No, Auntie Liza, she's not in the house. I looked for her everywhere because I was hungry." "Oh, maybe she went to get groceries." "No, she left, Auntie Liza. Mom is gone forever. She won't come back." "How are you so sure, Quinn? Maybe she'll be back in a few minutes." "No, she's gone. She left a note. It's on the counter." After that, I tried to calm down Quinn and made him sit in the kitchen. My plan was to first feed him because God knows how long it has been since his last meal. I searched the fridge, the cabinets, and the pantry. Well, there was nothing, guys. There wasn't a single thing to cook in the whole house. I couldn't believe what a state Sasha was living in, even after I sent her so much money. I quickly ordered some food because poor Quinn needed to be fed fast. Once the food arrived and he started to eat, I went to look for the letter he was talking about, and it was right where he had told me. There was a letter on the counter in the living room. I guess it was meant for Quinn since my sister had left without a word. I decided to give it a read to understand what was happening. From what Quinn said, he had stopped reading once he found out that his mom was gone. I was a little unsure that Sasha had really gone for good, so I needed to read the letter and find out what was happening. Guys, I wasn't prepared for what I was about to read in the letter. It said, "Dear Quinn, I'm sorry you missed me when I left, my dear. Mom will be gone for a while now. Mom is with your new father. I think you remember how I told you that I would find you a father. Well, Ryan will be your new father. We have decided to take a little trip to spend some time together and look for a house. We will move in soon once Ryan leaves your aunt for good. To make sure we can stay together, your father and I took this trip to find a big house. I promise I will take you along next time. If you have trouble, just call your aunt, but don't tell her about this letter. She will get mad and keep your new father from us. Quinn, we can't let that happen, right? I know you are a good boy and will do as your mommy says. Stay safe, my child. Bye. Mom and Dad love you." Once I was done reading the letter, I was shaking. I could hardly hold myself together. At that moment, I wanted to throw up and be sick, but I knew I couldn't do that. Quinn was watching me, and he didn't need to see me in such a condition, so I waited for him to finish his breakfast and sent him to do his homework. After that, I ran into their guest bathroom and threw up. I was sick and hurt beyond belief. Once the nausea subsided, I started to cry my eyes out. I tried my best to muffle my cries because I didn't want to risk altering Quinn. I cried for what felt like ages and then got out and sat in the living room. For hours, I thought about what was going on. I had just found out that my husband had been cheating with my sister, and he was actually planning on leaving me. After repeatedly telling me that he didn't want kids, he went and promised my sister to be her son's new father. I didn't care if my sister seduced my husband or if it was the other way around. What mattered was the fact that my husband cheated on me with my own sister. The seriousness of this situation doesn't just end there. The letter clearly said that Ryan was planning to leave me and start a new family with Sasha. And they told the poor kid to keep it all a secret from me. Thank God Quinn didn't read the whole letter. God knows that he didn't need to know all the dirty little secrets that his mom was hiding. After the hurt subsided in my brain, my mind was flooded with images of my sister and husband together. Somehow that made me full of anger. I was ready to wreak havoc on their lives if this was true. But before I took action, I needed to try and find out if what my sister wrote in the letter was true. I gave her a call to see what she had to say about leaving Quinn alone. I also recorded the call for proof if I needed it later. Sasha picked up the phone and sounded all cheerful. I was already in the mood and said, "Where on earth are you, Sasha?" "Relax, dear sister. I'm at a friend's house in the next town." "What in the world has gotten into you? You left your 8-year-old son alone all by himself. He was hungry, and you literally don't have any food in your freezer." "So just buy some food for my child, Eliza." "Why is that so difficult for you? I knew I would be gone for a few days, so I didn't stock up on groceries." "How did you make plans and didn't even bother to tell your own son about it?" "Quinn was a crying mess when he called me because you weren't in the house. He thought you left him." "Oh, he can be a little dramatic. He panics when I leave him home for a day or two." "What? Have you done this before already? You can't do this, Sasha. You can't abandon your own child." "Don't be so dramatic, Sasha. Quinn can be perfectly fine on his own. He needs to stop being such an attention-seeking child. Besides, he called you so he knows what to do if he needs help." "This is wrong, Sasha. You need to come back right now." "Look, I have something important to do, so I won't be home for a few days. You are alone anyway since Ryan is on a business trip, so just take Quinn with you until I come back." "No, I won't do that, Sasha. You can't just dump your child on anyone as you please." "I have to go to work, Sasha. You need to come back right now." "Not possible, Eliza. Just stop being such a difficult sister and help me out. I'm hanging up. Give my love to Quinn." Saying that, my sister just hung up on me. She really wasn't willing to come back and expected me to look after Quinn all by myself. She had no regard for her son at all. In fact, Sasha told me that she had left Quinn for days in the past as well. That was straight up child abandonment. I also didn't fail to notice how she knew Ryan was on a business trip, even when I didn't tell her anything about it. That got my alarm bells ringing like crazy. I knew that I couldn't stay still and let things happen like they were, so I set out to get more evidence. I went back to my house with Quinn and let him play with my dog. Then I went to my husband's study and opened his laptop to find out what he was hiding. I hit the jackpot there because I found plane tickets and hotel bookings under Sasha's and my husband's names. Yup. My sister was telling the truth. The two of them had taken a trip together and were staying in the same hotel and the same room. That cleared up any confusion for me. I knew right then that my sister and husband were having an affair. Once I digested that information, I started to think about what I was going to do next. I kept texting Sasha about coming home, but she wasn't replying to my texts. She also turned off her cell phone and wasn't taking calls. Ryan did send replies to my texts, but he was slow in replying and took a lot of time. I was pretty sure they were having a gala time while leaving Quinn and me to fend for ourselves. My heart was breaking for Quinn. He was actually being abandoned by his mom regularly and wasn't even taken care of properly. I asked him some questions which made things very clear for me. Quinn had a horrible home life, and none of the money I sent Sasha was being used on him. Apparently, she ordered a lot of junk food and spent her money on it. That also helped explain why her pantry was almost empty. I listened to all of Quinn's complaints and realized that he was being neglected by my sister. After listening to everything, I decided that it was time to take action, and what I did next changed Sasha and Ryan's life forever. A few days passed and I continued with my plan. I didn't talk to Sasha because she wasn't taking anyone's calls. I did talk to Ryan only to know his whereabouts and when he was coming home. I didn't give him any hint of my knowledge or that a big surprise was waiting for him at home. Instead, I talked to him as usual, although I was a little frosty. What can I say, guys? It was very hard to maintain a cold facade when my heart was broken. Still, I did my best. Ryan probably didn't notice because he was too busy enjoying his vacation with my sister. Too bad the vacation was going to turn their lives upside down. The real fun happened when they came home. Sasha and Ryan came straight to me because Quinn was with me. They tried to act all normal and pretended nothing had happened. Then Sasha said, "Thank you so much for taking care of my son, Eliza. I owe you one. You were such a good sister." Well, I can't say the same about you, but it was nice having Quinn around. Oh, you're still mad at me, I see. I promise I will make it up to you. What you did is extremely irresponsible, Sasha. This isn't something you can laugh off like you are trying to do. Come on, Eliza, you're being too harsh on your sister. She needed a break, that's all. You need to be a little more understanding. That is true, Ryan. I wish I was as understanding as you. You care a lot about my sister, I can see that. Ryan looked a little uncomfortable while Sasha actually giggled like a schoolgirl. She was probably happy to see that my husband was advocating for her instead of supporting me. She was truly enjoying being the center of attention. However, my husband was probably feeling a little suspicious. He went quiet and didn't reply to that. Instead, my sister said, "I knew I could always count on Ryan to be understanding. He loves Quinn so much that it warms my heart. Anyway, where is my son? I have to get him. I want to go home and rest." Ah, you seem to be in a hurry now, Sasha. You weren't so bothered when you were away for 4 whole days. Oh God, Eliza, stop being such a difficult woman and bring me my son. I need to take him home. Well, here is some news for you, Sasha. Quinn won't be going home with you anymore. He will be staying with me. Sasha looked really annoyed with me when I said that. I guess she still hadn't figured out what I had done, so she was acting all irritated and restless in front of me. She thought that I was being the typical older sister who mothered her all her life. But no, I wasn't trying to scare her. I was only telling her the truth. Somehow, that didn't get through her thick skull. She huffed at me and said, "Come on, Eliza. Don't be like that. You can't just keep my son away from me. You had no problem leaving him alone at home without food. Why do you have a problem when I tell you that he will stay with me?" Don't be ridiculous, Eliza. Quinn's my son. He needs to be with me. You don't get to keep him just because I had left him for a few days. You may not think that, Sasha. However, CPS definitely thinks that it is a big deal. The moment I mentioned CPS, Sasha's eyes went wide. She turned pale and stared at me in disbelief. I guess she hadn't expected me to ever call CPS on her. Some may think that I called CPS on her just to get back at her. Well, that's not entirely true. After having an extensive talk with Quinn, I realized that my sister had been a neglectful mother. If I thought that Quinn was happy and well cared for at home, I wouldn't have called CPS on my sister. It was satisfying to see Sasha panic after what she did to me, but in reality, I was just glad that I could protect Quinn when his own mother didn't value him. Sasha may not value her son, but she sure didn't want to lose him. Quinn was like a money magnet because I was giving Sasha money to take care of him. She knew very well that once Quinn was placed in my care, her cash flow from me would stop. She would have to cut back on her expenses significantly and may even lose the house. So she panicked and said, "What? You called CPS on me?" Why are you surprised, Sasha? You literally abandoned your child and left him without food. Besides, I know you have been neglecting Quinn at home, so I did the right thing and called CPS. Oh my God, what have you done, Eliza? You have landed me in a heap of trouble. Why did you do this to me? As I said, Sasha, you got what you deserve for abandoning and neglecting your child. Sasha was visibly panicking, and she even had a few tears in her eyes. She knew very well that she was an unfit parent. She was only scraping by because I was helping her out with money. Even then, she was spending most of it on herself instead of Quinn. Sasha was a mess of a mother, and CPS understood that very well. Sasha could now feel the heat of her actions and started to freak out. I was calm and collected as I watched her panic, and my husband tried to calm her down. Then he turned to me and said in a stern voice, "What is going on, Eliza? Why would you betray your sister like that? This is wrong. You can't just take away her child." Here is some news for you, Ryan. My nephew is more important than my worthless sister, so I chose his well-being over hers. You are overreacting, Eliza. Call CPS and talk to them. Tell them this was all a misunderstanding. We can't keep Quinn for ourselves. He needs to go back to Sasha. It's too late for that now, Ryan. CPS is officially investigating Sasha. I showed them plenty of proof for them to think that she was an unfit parent. How could you do this to me, Eliza? I trusted you, and now you're trying to take my baby away from me? Seriously, Eliza? How could you do this? This is just plain cruel to take away someone's son. That's really funny, guys. So it is wrong to take away someone's son, but it is okay to take away someone's husband? What do you mean? I would ask Sasha about this, Ryan. Hey, Sasha, you talked about you trusting me and me betraying you. Well, care to explain why you decided to betray me first by sleeping with my husband? I wish I could have shown you the look on their faces when I told them this. I finally revealed to them that I knew about their affair. It was a strange feeling, guys. 1 second, they were yelling at me for being a horrible sister and betraying Sasha. The next moment, they were stunned into silence when I turned those accusations on them. It finally dawned on them that they had been caught. Ryan and Sasha kept looking at each other nervously. After a while, Sasha started to bawl while Ryan rushed to my side while trying to hold my hand. He said, What are you saying, Eliza? That never happened. You're probably misunderstanding my words. I'm not misunderstanding your words, Ryan. I know you and Sasha took a nice trip, which you called a business trip. I was really on a business trip. Don't even bother lying, Ryan. Save that energy. I already found tickets and hotel bookings in your name. You forgot or didn't care to delete them from your laptop. You checked my laptop? Yeah, that's surprising, right, Ryan? I wouldn't have snooped if my dear sister hadn't unknowingly given me the details of your affair. What? No, I never told you anything. These are all lies. Oh, no, Sasha. You never told me anything directly, but you did leave a note for Quinn where you told him how Ryan would be his new dad. I heard you were going to leave me to marry my sister and become Quinn's stepfather, Ryan. What? What are you talking about? That's what my sister tried to tell Quinn. Too bad he didn't read it completely. At this, Ryan gave Sasha a nasty look. Sasha was trying to hide her face even as she cried. I thought that it was an interesting interaction. Sasha looked super guilty while Ryan looked angry at her, but as soon as he turned his face to me, his expression changed to that of guilt and sadness. He said, I'm so sorry, Eliza. I swear it was a huge mistake on my part. I really regret what I have done. That's another lie, Ryan. You did seem to have fun with my sister on your supposed business trip. Then you made plans of moving in with her and marrying her once you were divorced from me. No, Eliza, I swear I want nothing of that. This was all a mistake. I never promised Sasha those things. She was just an affair and nothing else. I'll never leave you and marry her. Oh, that's a weird thing to say since you still cheated on me with my sister. I love you, Eliza. Believe me, honey, it was a one-time mistake. I swear I'll cut contact with her and never do this again. She means nothing to me, Eliza. Please forgive me. You hear that, Sasha? You are about to lose your sister and child for a man who doesn't even love you. How does that make you feel, dear sister? Sasha looked away from me and was in tears. She was visibly shaking because of what I said. Meanwhile, Ryan was desperately begging me for forgiveness and saying that this was a one-time thing. I let him blabber on before finally saying, "What makes you think your excuses will work on me, Ryan?" "I'm not making excuses, Eliza. I'm really sorry for what I did. I want to make things right. Please give me a chance." "You won't be making things right because I won't be giving you a chance. It's not like there's anything you can do to fix this." "What can I do, Eliza? Tell me what you want." "You had disrespected our marriage and me in the process. I have no intention of being with you anymore." No, don't say that. Please don't say that." "I have already filed for divorce and you will be served the divorce papers in a few days. You can get a lawyer and then contact me. I have already packed your stuff, so you need to leave as soon as possible." I had everything prepared, guys. I talked to a lawyer and filed for divorce. Ryan kept begging me to not leave him while Sasha was standing in the corner crying. After a while, she too joined my husband and kept asking me to forgive them. They had some wild requests, guys. Sasha wanted me to deal with CPS and return Quinn and give her money for his upkeep. Ryan wanted me to forgive him and continue the marriage like nothing happened. When I continued to remain cold, Ryan and Sasha turned on each other. Ryan claimed that Sasha seduced him and trapped him. Sasha claimed that Ryan used her and was now backing away because he didn't want to take Quinn's responsibility. It was entertaining watching them fight and blame each other. I stayed quiet and enjoyed the show till it was time for me to throw them out. Sasha left after I threatened to call the cops on her. Ryan left after I threatened to call his parents. The aftermath of this incident went as well as you would expect. CPS agreed that Sasha was an unfit mother and transferred Quinn's care to me. I have custody of my nephew, and Sasha is only allowed visitation. She got a lot of flack from our extended family because no one supported her behavior. Yes, I told everyone what happened. She was a crying mess every time she turned up on my door to see Quinn. My nephew was a little weary of his mom, but continued to have a relationship until Sasha stopped visiting altogether. CPS was promptly notified, and it looks like in a year or so I may be bringing Quinn permanently into my home. With some luck, I will try to get Sasha to sign her rights away. It's been months since she had stopped visiting. She's drowning in debt and bills since I am not giving her any money, so she had very little time or patience for Quinn. Quinn is also happier in my home anyway. As for my husband, well, he and I got a divorce. He tried to stop it, but his infidelity moved things very fast. Ryan tried to beg for months and even cried on my front porch one night. He also tossed away my sister like trash, which probably proves that he did cheat for nothing. It's sad, but I can't feel any pity for any of them. After trying to fight me in court, he ultimately couldn't stop the divorce. I am now happy to announce that my divorce will be finalized very soon. Due to his affair, his own parents refused to talk to him and actually kept contact with me instead. A lot of friends have also sided with me and criticized him for doing this to me. He lost a good part of his reputation and seems to be repenting for his actions. Again, I have no pity for him. He destroyed my love and gave me one of the worst heartbreaks of my life. I'm doing much better now. There are bad days as there are good days. But I'm holding out hope that soon I can leave this all behind me. Quinn is a huge support, and I'm glad he came into my life. Looks like I won't be child-free after all. And I don't mind that one bit.